Hello, biology. Good morning. This is day 4. We're starting chapter 18. This is 18.1. This is the introduction to ecology. Ecology is a very exciting field of biology. What is ecology? Ecology is the study of the interactions between organisms and the living and non-living components of their environment. This involves collecting information about organisms and their environments, observing interactions between organisms and their environments, and then looking for patterns and explaining these patterns between them. Interdependence. All organisms interact with other organisms in their surroundings, and with non-living portion of their environment. A bear might drink out of a stream and then also might fish out of the stream. He's interacting with both stuff living in the stream and the stream itself. An organism's survival depends on these interactions. If a bear isn't good at fishing, he probably won't live very long. Another example is we need plants because they produce energy for us. They also produce oxygen for us. On the other hand, plants need us because we produce carbon dioxide. Both organisms are benefiting and interacting with each other. Effects of interdependence. Any change in an environment can spread through the network of interactions. This is that whole idea of a butterfly beats its wings in Wisconsin and then you have a tsunami across the world. Every change is important. There's been a lot of talk. They have the ability to wipe out the entire population in the world of mosquitoes, but we don't, because we don't know what that would do to the world environment. Because any change can affect organisms far removed from the change. An example your book uses is they use the example of Lyme disease in acorns. Rabbits and deer like to eat acorns. When they have very little acorn yields, these usually animals will go out and they'll eat from the fields and stuff where there's not as much ticks. But with high acorn yields, they'll come in and use these acorns for food because they're there. So the ticks will grow on these deer and rabbits. The populations rise, and as you have more ticks, the chance for people to get bit goes up, and ticks are a carrier of Lyme disease, so Lyme disease also will go up. Ecological models. These are used to represent or describe the components of an ecological system. We will be doing a lot of stuff with models. Models can be physical, conceptual, or mathematical. These ones here are all conceptual. On the top there's an ecological model for the different things that go on in that community. Down below it, there's a food web, so how all the energy is getting passed from the sun all the way back up to the top, and talking about it getting decomposed by mushrooms. And then the one on the furthest left there, that's one about the sunlight coming down and showing where the energy is. So producers, plants, how much energy they have, and then how much they pass up to each one. And the red there is energy lost from each level. So that energy is lost to the system. Oh, excuse me, the blue is energy lost. Levels of organization. All organisms have levels of organization. We talked about this as one of those 7 things it takes to be alive. Organisms are organized into cells that then are formed into tissues, that then form into organs, that then form into organ systems, such as your respiratory system, that then form a whole organism. We further organize organisms. So we're going to go through these levels of organization from the top down. So we're going to start with the most broad, and then go on to very specific, and come back down to organism. So the first one is the biosphere. This is the area of the Earth and its atmosphere that supports life. All organisms alive are found in this layer. It stretches from the bottom of the ocean to about 5 to 6 miles above Earth, where some bacteria float in the atmosphere. They're alive up there, but they live in the atmosphere. Living things are not spread out evenly through the biosphere. There might be the rainforest, where you have hundreds and hundreds of species in 1 square mile, and then in the ocean, where you have 1 blue whale in a square mile. Ecosystems. This is our next level down. These are smaller units inside the biosphere, include all organisms and the non-living environment found in a particular place. For an example, this pond on this right is its own ecosystem. It contains living things like turtles, algae, insects, bacteria, frogs, birds. It also has non-living things that make up this environment: rocks, the pH of the water, the levels of the oxygen, how much sunlight it's getting, etc. Community, this is the next level down. This is all the living organisms in an area that interact with each other. So on our example right, I have some circled: the birds, the frog, the fish, the plants. These are all living things. We're no longer looking at the rocks or the water. You can have thousands of species but in a community, but it's only living organisms. Communities have to be only living organisms. Population. This is a step down from community. This is all the members of a species that live in one area. So now in the pond, we're not talking about all the living organisms. We're talking about all the bullfrogs, all the tree frogs, all the E. coli. Organism. This is even more specific. Now instead of saying all the frogs, we're saying that frog right there on the right. That one specific individual. Or that bird on the left there, that crane. We're only talking about him. Or it can be even smaller. One specific bacteria. One specific lily pad. For your 18.1 review today, it's 1 through 6 on page 362. This is the answer to number 6, biome, ecosystem, community, population, organism. I'll give you extra credit if you go on and then continue and go down through organ system, organ, tissue, cells, and atoms. You guys don't have to draw the figure on the right. I just really liked it. It does a really good job explaining what I just talked about. I will be posting 18.2 tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. Miss you guys.